The 2026.2 release of Home Assistant is just about here, and you certainly don't want to miss this one. Lots of new features this time around, and the launch of a huge open community project as well. I've been looking at what we're getting in this feature pack release, and in this video I'm breaking down everything that you need to know about it before you decide to upgrade. Hey everyone, my name's Simon and welcome to Byte of Geek, a channel that's all about Home Assistant and smart home technology. So the team have squeezed in the 2026.2 beta release of Home Assistant at the end of January. I was beginning to think it would never arrive, but here it is nonetheless, and it's a cracking release as well, with plenty here that I think you're going to love. As I always mention, this is a beta release of Home Assistant, and as such it can be subject to change before the final release, with features potentially dropped or added at the last minute. I'll put a link to the release notes in the description of this video if you want to read about the update in more detail yourself. So let's get going and look at what's in store for the February release of Home Assistant. Kicking off with the new features then, and the home dashboard now becomes the official default dashboard in Home Assistant and therefore replaces the old overview dashboard for all new instances. The overview dashboard hasn't been completely removed though, and you can still create a dashboard using the overview legacy option when creating your dashboard. You now also have a new section which shows you what devices have been discovered by Home Assistant. So now there's no need to go off into your settings to see that kind of information. You can now just add them from the dashboard if you want to. There's also updates for devices and areas, making it even easier to assign them to areas and even edit area details, meaning that you don't need to be jumping between the settings section and the dashboard to configure everything. That's a really nice improvement, and certainly one I thought was a bit of a pain at times. The blue top bar has now been removed to provide a more consistent theme and now matches the settings page. It's a bit difficult to notice on a dark theme, but even so, it is a subtle change. It's more obvious if you're using the light theme, and additionally, personalized themes have now been moved to your user profile. A big announcement with this release is the introduction of the Open Home Foundation device database, which, as you would expect, is community driven and looks to help you make informed decisions on smart home devices before you buy them. This has been building up with details provided by early adopters, but you can now join in too and submit details about your devices with the data being anonymized, and there's a very nice dashboard available where you can view all of this kind of information. I can see this being a very powerful tool in understanding what devices people are using with Home Assistant, and if you want to take part in this, then the Labs feature has been updated to allow you to enable that in your Home Assistant instance. Next up, and I heard about this one a while ago, and that is that add-ons are now called apps. There was a lot of discussion about this, as a lot of people have different viewpoints here, but apps it is, drawing a distinction between integrations and apps. That isn't the only change here though. Behind the scenes, the apps panel front end has been fully integrated now into Home Assistant, and therefore it loads quicker. The purpose-specific triggers that were introduced back in December have had more triggers added again. So now we have calendar for when an event starts or ends, person for when someone arrives or leaves home, and vacuum for when a robot vacuum returns to its dock. And whilst up until now the focus has been on the triggers, this release sees the introduction of purpose-specific conditions, which should make things a bit easier when building automations. Now, instead of checking if something is a certain state, you can just ask if something is, for example, locked, or a media player is playing, or your climate system is cooling. There's a whole bunch of these new conditions that have been added. So we've got ones for alarm control panel, voice assistant satellites, climate, device tracking, fan, humidifier, lawnmower, lock, media player, person, siren, switch, and vacuum. If you want to start using those and potentially providing feedback, then you'll need to enable it in the Home Assistant Labs option in settings. Next up, and I really like this one, lots of potential uses for this, and it's that we have a new distribution card. So you can load it up with the entities you want to display, and very similar to some of the screens we've seen in the Home Assistant settings, you now get your data displayed in a proportional bar chart, something you can pop on a dashboard to get that easy at a glance information. Another nice improvement is the change to the quick bar, the little search icon on the top of the screen. Whereas previously you could just search for entities, now it's a bit of a one-stop shop to do many things like navigate dashboards, run commands, search for entities, etc. That's some really great functionality added to this release. A bit of something, I think, for everyone. Hit the like button if you've seen something that you're looking forward to using. Integrations are at the heart of Home Assistant. They often let older or obscure devices join your smart home. If you're using Home Assistant, it's worth keeping up with the latest updates each month, so make sure to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss my next video. But starting things off, and we've got a new Cloudflare R2 integration, enabling you to back up Home Assistant there. As it's mentioned here, R2 has a generous free tier storage solution, so that should be plenty for most people. If you're using the German renewable energy provider Green Planet Energy, then you'll no doubt be pleased to hear that you can now get real-time dynamic electricity pricing data with this new integration. And if you've got any HD Fury HDMI video processing devices, well, now you can manage those as well with the new HD Fury integration. There's a new integration for NRG Kick, allowing you to monitor your Gen 2 mobile EV charger locally and get all kinds of stats about it without having to use a cloud connection. If you're using Prana heat recovery systems, well, now you can integrate those as well with Home Assistant, allowing you to control and monitor it in your system. Finally, we have a new integration for Yoohoo indoor air quality monitors, so now you can keep track of temperature, humidity, CO2 levels, etc. within your home. Those are the new integrations, but we've also got a lot of updates to existing ones, and I'm just going to pick out some of the key ones, starting with ESP Home, which has been updated to now support water heater devices, which I'm sure will likely kickstart some projects there. Music Assistant now supports pre-announced URLs, so now you can play custom announcement sounds before your text-to-speech message plays. Those with pets and Reolink cameras are going to like the next one, and that is that you can now play a special chime when your furry friends are at the door. I just love that one. Surely reason enough to buy a Reolink camera right there. The Hikvision integration now has camera support, and now you can view snapshot and streams direct in Home Assistant, and the Home Connect integration can now start dishwasher programs directly from Home Assistant. That's just a handful of the updates to the integrations this month, but if you want to read the full list of improvements, then don't forget to check out the link in the description of this video. We've also got several integrations moving up the quality scale in this release, starting off with the Platinum level, and we have Aerobot, DuckDNS and Sornum. Moving to Silver, and we have FeedReader, Nina and Velbus, and finally moving to Bronze, we have TP-Link Omada. As always, it's great to see all the hard work from those contributing being recognised in the releases to make these integrations better for everyone. As for notable changes this release, well, first off, dashboards now support calendar colours, so now you can pick a colour for your calendar and it will show in the card. It's worth noting that the Google Calendar integration already supports this functionality. Next up, we've got a nice update that adds live inline template previews to the template editor. So as you're typing away, you can instantly see the result without having to refresh. Super useful to have that, I think. And a nice little quality of life improvement next, and that is that the settings option in the sidebar menu is now pinned at the bottom. So if you've got a lot of options in your sidebar, then you don't have to keep on scrolling down to get to the settings option. Next, and potentially a bit of a controversial one, this, and that is that the developer tools option has been moved from the sidebar to the settings menu. I'm not sure about this. It seems odd to pin the settings option, saving you having to scroll down, but then making the developer tools option something you now need to click and scroll down to access. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. The area card now has a couple of new options, those being tap action and image tap action, which I'm sure will come in super handy. And the entity card has had actions added as well. So now you can tap, hold and double tap, etc. on that card. And I think that's a great addition. Hit the like button if you think so too. We've now got parts per billion added as a unit of measurement for sulfur dioxide sensors as well as number entities. And finally, the heading card now supports button badges, so now you can add quick actions to those. There's just a handful of breaking changes in this release, and we start off with a couple of changes to the sensor group. So first up, a sensor group is now classed as unavailable if all group members are either unavailable or missing. In addition to this, when the group is not unavailable, Home Assistant then tries to calculate a value for it, but it will only calculate it if every member exists in Home Assistant and every member reports a numeric value. If any one member isn't loaded or is unknown or is unavailable or reports text instead of a number, then the group state becomes unknown. Just want to kind of get your head around there, I think, but obviously an important change. Next, we've got Sentry, and if you're self-hosting that, then this applies only to you. You'll need to upgrade Sentry Server to version 20.6.0 or later, and you must do this before upgrading your version of Home Assistant. If you're using Tractive, then 3 sensors have been removed as they're no longer supported, and they are activity, calories burned, and sleep. Tuya has had an update in that duplicate HVAC mode have been converted to presets, meaning you may need to update service calls for set HVAC mode to set preset mode in things like your automations and scripts. And finally, for VSync, the advanced sleep preset mode is now replaced by sleep. So again, you'll need to update scripts and automations if you're using advanced sleep. So that's what the 2026.2 release of Home Assistant has for us, and it seems like we're starting February very much back in the swing of things with a bigger update. What are you looking forward to in this release? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss more Home Assistant updates like this, as well as all the other smart home content I create on the channel. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.